morning, students. Welcome back to 1.5 Joan of Arc Part 2. Children, as you all are aware that yesterday we completed first part of the lesson, that is a play, and today I am here to do the other half. As you all know that yesterday we halted on this line where Captain Robert ordered John to get out and wait in the yard till he call her back again. We also saw that Robert ordered Steward to go after John, be with her and keep a watch on her till he calls her again. Yes, so we are going to proceed here. So let's see. The steward retreats hastily. Children, here retreats means to go away and hastily means in a hurry. So as soon as the steward got the order from Captain Robert, steward went away after John in a haste, that is in a hurry. Bunrand de Poligny, a French guard, enters, salutes and stands waiting. So Polly has entered. Now who is Polly? We have already seen Polly is a French guard. He has entered the room where Captain Robert is waiting for him to come, and he is standing. Yes, and Robert starts the conversation. Let's see what Robert says. Robert, she sees you. Jack and Dick have offered to go with her. What for? Do you take her crazy idea of going to the Dauphin seriously? Robert is questioning Polly that according to John, you, Jack and Dick have agreed to accompany John. What's the need? Don't you tell me that you are taking a foolish idea of going to the Dauphin seriously. Poligny, slowly. There is something about her. It may be worth trying. So let's see what Poligny replies. Poligny says that, sir, there is something in her. According to me, there is no harm in trying. Yes, Robert. Oh, come on, Polly. You must be out of your mind. Children, to be out of one's mind is a phrase which means to be crazy. So on hearing Polly's view, Robert is very angry and he's saying, come on, Polly. Even you are talking crazy. Poligny, unmoved. What is wrong with it? The Dauphin is in Chinoy, like a rat in the corner, except that he won't fight. The English will take Orleans. He will not be able to stop them. Children, here unmoved means unaffected. On hearing Robert's remark, now what was Robert remark to Polly? That even you are crazy like John, even you have gone crazy like John. So after hearing this Robert's remark, Polly remains unaffected, means he didn't get affected by this remark of Captain. In fact, he said, what's wrong in trying, Captain? Being the Prince of France, the Dauphin acts as a coward. Being trapped from all the sides, still the Dauphin doesn't take the decision to fight against the English army. In spite of fighting, he has taken shelter in Chinoy, the way rat hid in the corner. In the same way, he being the Prince of France has hid in the corner. Could you believe this? Students, here the Dauphin is compared to a rat. Polly further adds, if we too don't take proper action on time, then the English army will take over the city of Orleans and the entire France will go under their domination. And at that time, no one will be able to stop them because it will be too late. So it's better that we take some action immediately and do what John says. Robert, he bet the English the year before last at Montargis. I was with him. Children, who is he addressed here? Here he is the Dauphin. So Robert is saying, First, let us see the meaning of Montargis. Montargis is a small settlement of people in north central France. So, Robert is saying that, okay, whatever you have been telling about John, but still I am not convinced. And the views which you have against the Dauphin, I don't agree to it. In fact, I'll say that Dauphin is not a coward. He is a very brave prince. He beat the English army the year before last at Montargis, and I was with him. I've seen him that time fighting so bravely, and he isn't afraid of anyone. So don't you think that the Dauphin will not fight this time also? He is gonna fight, Poligny. But his men are carved. Here carved means frightened, and now he can't work miracle. And I tell you that nothing can save our side now but a miracle. Polly says that, yes, Captain, whatever you are telling about the Dauphin, about the last year incident at Montargis is true. But that was the past incident. Now this time he can't do anything. And we have been defeated in such a way that only some miracle can save us. Yes, Robert. Miracles are alright, Polly. The only difficulty about them is that they don't happen nowadays. So Robert says, Polly, miracles are okay. I too believe in miracle. But today they don't happen. I mean, they don't take place. It used to happen in the past, Poligny. I used to think so. I'm not so sure now. There is something about her. I think the girl herself is a bit of miracle. Anyhow, this is our last chance. Let's see what she can do. Sorry. Yes. Polly says that, yes, Captain, I used to think the way you're thinking is that miracles don't happen these days. It used to take place in past. But now after meeting John, I'm unsure about miracle. I think John can not only do miracle, but she herself is a bit of miracle. And in this way, Poligny is trying to convince Robert that anyways, we don't have any option left. This is our last chance, and I think we need to go for it. That means we need to go as per John saying. Robert, wavering. You really think that? Children, here wavering means in a hesitating or in a confused manner. Now after hearing Poligny's talk, or I can say Poligny's view for John, Captain Robert is very confused and he is asking, do you really think so? Poligny says, turning, is there anything else left for us to think? Let's take a chance. Her words have put fire into me. Children, this is a phrase. To put fire into someone's means to inspire or motivate someone's. Polly answered Robert that in a question he is answering, but in a question form, that why are you so confused, Robert? Is there any option left with us? No, na? Then let's take a chance. Anyways, John's word have inspired and motivated me, so I'm going for it. You think what you need to do. Robert giving up view. You are as mad as she is. Giving up. Children, here giving up means to give up or to surrender. Viv is an expression of being tired. So this line says that Robert is tired on debating about John with Poligny, and he says, or I can say he tells Polly that even you are mad as John is. Poligny, obstinately. Here obstinately means stubbornly. We want a few mad people now. See, we're the same sane ones have landed us. So after hearing Robert's remark once again, Polly says that yes, Captain, you're right. Of course you're right. You're definitely right. That I and John both are mad. Okay? We both are mad. But now the current situation demands this madness. Or I can say mad people like us. There is a need for mad people like us. Because see where the sound people, the sound people means the sane people. The sane means a person of sound mind, or I can say understanding or mature person. So see where the sane people have taken us, have landed us. They have let go the entire France. And now when those people understanding didn't work, so there is a need of mad people like me and John, who are brave, who are bold, and who are confident. Yes? To this, Robert says, I feel like a fool still if you feel sure. Children, if you notice, this question is left incomplete. Robert hasn't completed this line. Robert says that after talking to you for such a long time, I feel I'm a fool debating over here. So I leave it on you. It's your choice. If you're sure, then you may ... Now what do you mean by ... It means that if you're sure, Robert is telling Polly that if you're sure, then you may proceed. That's the dot. That's the incomplete, I can say, word on those blank dots. Okay? So Pauline says, I feel sure enough to take her to Shinoy unless you stop me. Pauline says, yes, I'm quite sure of accompanying John. And I don't need a second thought, but I can proceed only when you permit. You should not stop me, Captain. Robert, do you think I ought to have another talk with her? Children, here ought means must. So Robert is questioning Polly that, do you think I must talk to her again? Yes, Polly says. Polly, going to the window. Yes, John, come up. So here Polly goes towards the window and says, yes, Robert, you can talk to her once again. And also calls John up back. John enters. So John has taken a second entry. Let's see what happened after she entered for the second time. Pauline, gravely, be seated, John. Children, here gravely means seriously. So when John has entered, in a very serious manner, Pauline asked John to sit, and so she sat down. Robert, what is your name? John. They always call me Jenny in Lorraine. Here in France, I am John. The soldiers call me the maid. Children, first let's see all the hard meanings. So Lorraine means a region in northeastern France. Maid. Here maid doesn't mean a servant. Here maid is an archaic word. Now you'll ask me, or you'll think, what is an archaic word? Archaic is an old English word. Let me remind you that we have already seen such types of word last year in our standard 9 English Kumar Bharati textbook unit 4. That was a poem 4.5 Tansen. If you recall it, there were many archaic words in that poem. Yes. So maid here doesn't mean servant. Actually maid is an archaic word, or I can say an old English word, which means an unmarried girl or a young woman. And let me tell you, of course, John was 17 years of old. So she was unmarried at that time. Okay. So she's saying, John is saying that, Captain, in Lorraine, people call me Jenny. Now, children, even this word I have introduced you yesterday in the introduction slides, that in Lorraine, people used to call her Jenny. In France, all the people call her John, and the soldiers call her maid. Now, let me tell you that in history, John is also known as the Maid of Orleans. Okay? Yes. I'm moving to the next line. Robert, how old are you? John, 17, so they tell me. It might be 19, I don't remember. So John is being asked by Robert that how old she is, and in written to it, John reply that according to people, I am 17 years old. Maybe I can be 19, but I don't remember exactly. Robert, I suppose you think raising a siege is as easy as chasing a cow out of a meadow? You think soldiering is anybody's job? Children, to raise a siege means to surround from all sides and attack, removing the forces surrounding a place. Meadow, as you all know, is a grassland. Soldiering means fighting. And I'll explain you exactly what Robert is trying to tell John. Robert says that, do you think raising a siege is like meadowing the cows in grassland? See children, I'll tell you. What do you mean by siege? Siege means to surround the city or town from all the sides. This is normally the strategy followed in the war. See, the English army has already sieged the Orleans from all sides, as a result of which, when the English army has sieged the city of Orleans, so what will happen? No food, no arms, no ammunition will go inside the city, and the people who are living inside the city have to manage with all those things which were available to them at that time inside the city. And once these all things get over, means in short, nothing was allowed to go inside from outside. Okay, and once their stock, their food, or all other things, basic amenities get over, of course they will have to suffer defeat and surrender, because they'll be left with no option. And this is called siege. So in the same way, same thing happened. The English army wanted to capture the city of Orleans, and in order to do so, what did they do? They surrounded the city of Orleans from all the sides. And here, John, who was going to do a very difficult job, was that she was about to attack the English army from outside and would free the people, that is the Orleans, living inside the city of Orleans. So Robert is making John think again that it's not so easy, John, to raise a siege, because don't you forget, we are going to face the English army and not the cows. Robert is questioning John, do you think fighting is anyone's job? I mean, is it so easy? John says, I don't think it can be very difficult if God is on your side. See children, how deep faith John has in God. She is saying that, Captain, I know it's not so easy, but it's not so difficult too if God is on your side. Now children, why she is so confident? Because she is very well aware that it was the God's vision which I got in my dream when I was 13 years old. And in that dream I got visions from God's messenger that I have to perform, or the purpose of my life is to save the Orleans or to save the France. And for doing this, I need to follow the visions. And she is saying that, of course, when God has given me this role to perform this work, to do this task, so even I have a blind faith that God is going to be on my side, because it's God order. So of course he is going to give my side. Yes. Next, Robert grimly. Grimly means seriously. Have you ever seen English soldier fighting? Have you ever seen them plundering? Here plundering means looting, burning, turning the countryside into a desert? Have you heard no tales of their prince, who is the devil himself, or of the English king's father? Children, here plundering means looting, tales means stories, and devil means cruel or unkind person. So Robert is making John aware of the consequence that may happen. He is asking John that, have you not seen English army looting or burning or turning the country into a desert? Now children, this was English army, or I can say English people's strategy, that whenever they used to attack any town or any city, after attacking it, they used to burn that. Captain further asked John that, have you not heard the story of English prince, who himself is very unkind person, and not only he but also his father the king. He too is very cruel. Aren't you afraid of those, father and the son? John: you do not understand, Square. Our soldiers are always beaten because they are fighting only to save their skins. And the shortest way to save your skin is to run away. Children, to save their skin is a phrase which means to save their life. Say, children, John is making Captain Robert understand in such a beautiful manner. She is telling that, yes, Captain, I do know the stories of English king and his son, that is the prince, but you don't understand one thing, Captain. So far our soldiers were beaten, or I can say were defeated, because our soldiers wanted to save their life. I'll explain you more in detail. She says that I'll explain you the concept, children. See, if you or I have a dream, or if anyone has a dream or a mission or an aim, and if our dream is small, what happens? Children, we don't give 100%. We don't fight till last. We don't sustain. We give up before putting our efforts, right? But when we have some big aim, when we dream big, and at that time, what do, children? We strive hard, we work endlessly, and we never give up, though whatever difficulties approach us. We keep on doing our best. So that's what John was trying to make Captain Robert understand. She was trying to tell that, oh Captain, so far the aim, the mission was very small. And what was that small aim? That soldiers thought that they just need to save their lives. And that was the reason they were defeated. They weren't fighting for a big aim, and that was to save their country, their motherland, France. But now I will teach them. Let's go back to the lines. Let's see. But I'll teach them all to fight for France. Then they will drive the soldiers before them like sheep. You and Polly will live to see the day when there will be not a single English soldier on the soil of France. So John is saying through these lines that I'll teach the French army, that is our soldiers, that they all have to fight for their motherland. And this was her strategy of fighting. That was by inspiring the soldier that we don't have to fight for our lives, but we have to fight for our country, that is France. This shows the patriotism of John towards her motherland, France. She further says, and when these soldiers will fight with all their hearts for their country, and at that time the English army will be driven like sheep, they'll go away. And on that day, you and Polly will see that not a single English soldier will be left on the land of France. Robert to Pauline, this may all be nonsense, Polly, but the troops might just be inspired by it, though nothing that we may seems to put any fire into them. Even the Dauphin might believe it, and if she can put some fight into him, she can put it into anybody. Yes? Students, I can say after hearing John, we can say that this was the miracle of John. Her words, her bravery, her confidence inspired not only Polly and Jack but the entire French army. And after hearing this, Robert says, or I can say Robert accept that yes, Polly, maybe I haven't succeeded in inspiring the troops. Children, here troops means soldier, the French soldier, and maybe these soldiers can be inspired by John's word and can fight for France. He further also added that if John succeed in inspiring the Dauphin, then she can inspire anyone, because that was the need of the time, that John needs to convince Dauphin anyhow. And once if Dauphin get convinced, then that day is not so far when the French army can overtake all the cities which were taken up by the English army. Yes? Robert, turning to John, now you listen to me and don't cut in. Children, here cut in means to interrupt. Before I have time to think, your orders are that you are to go to Shinoy under the escort of this gentleman and 3 of his friends. Escort means a person accompanying other for protection. So Robert turns towards John and says, now listen to me carefully and don't you interrupt me, don't you cut in me. Okay? Till I don't complete. And finally, Captain Robert has agreed to send John to Shinoy. But there's one condition, that she needs to go under the escort of this gentleman. Now this gentleman means Polly and his 3 friends. Okay, so he's saying that you may go. Finally he has permitted John to go. John, radiant, clasping her hand, oh thank you, Square. Radiant means very happy or in a very great joy. Clasping means holding. So John is very happy and thanking Captain Robert by telling, thank you, Square. Pauline, how is she to get into the royal presence? Here royal presence means in the presence of king. So Polly has raised a question towards Robert and he is asking Robert that how will John get to meet the Dauphin? Here he means that no doubt we are there to take her to Shinoy, but how will those people, that Shinoy people will allow John to meet the prince? Will the prince agree to meet John? So this question he put up in front of Captain Robert. Let's see what Captain says in reply to this. I don't know. How did she get into my presence? I will send her to Shinoy and she can say I sent her. Then let come what may, I can do no more. Here let come what may is a phrase which means let anything happen. So Robert says, I really don't know. Maybe the way she got into my presence. Here Robert means that even I wasn't ready to meet John first, but now I'm meeting her. In the same manner, she needs to find some way to meet the Dauphin as well. I can only do one thing for her, that after reaching Shinoy, she can tell those people that I, Captain Robert, has sent John to meet the Dauphin. But beyond this, I can't do anything for her. That means I can only help her till here. That's it. John. And the dress? I may have a soldier's dress, Square? Now this time John is asking a question, that what about my dress? I need a soldier dress. Children, why she needs a soldier dress? Because it will not be safe for a girl to get dressed up like a girl and go through all those enemies' territory along with the other soldiers. And in order to go there, she needs a soldier dress. And she got that dress and she dressed up exactly like a soldier. And not only this, children, she also cut off her hair in order to look like a soldier. Children, you can see the image which I have put up in this slide. She is cutting off her hair, and she dress up like the soldier, okay, in order to get, or I can say, to be a part of a war. Yes. Robert, take what you please. Here please means want. I wash my hands off it. To wash one's hands off it means, it's a phrase which means not to take any responsibility. So Robert says that you take what you want, but I won't take any responsibility. Now let us see, children, why is Robert not ready to take any responsibility? Let me remind you that in those days it was really a very big crime to cross dress. Now what do you mean by cross dress? Cross dress means dress up in a opposite manner, where cross dressing means a man dressing up in a women's attire, or I can say clothes, or a women dressing up in a man's attire. So it was not at all allowed at that time. It was very big crime. It was against the religion, and John, being a girl, has taken this step of cross dressing, and that was the very big crime which she did. And we have already seen yesterday that one charge was made on her, where she was being accused of cross dressing, and we have already seen that because of this she got a punishment, that she was burned alive at the stake at the age of 19. This was one of the main reason which we have already seen in yesterday's video. Yes. John, wildly excited by her success. Come, Polly. She dashes out. Dashes means to go out very quickly. So John is so excited. She's so happy after getting the permission that she leaves. She goes out. She leaves that place. She goes out from that place very quickly. She doesn't want to wait for a moment, because she want to start her journey. She want to get ready. She want to dress up like a soldier, and wanted to start her journey of going to Shinoy to meet the Dauphin as soon as possible. So now John has left the spot, and only Robert and Pauline are left. Let's see the conversation between, what was the conversation between them. Shaking Pauline's hand. Goodbye, old man. I'm taking a big chance. Few other men would have done it, but as you say, there is something about her. So Robert shakes Pauline's hand and bade for goodbye, and told him that I am taking a big chance, and as you said, that there is something about her. Even I think the same now, that yes, there is something about her. Yes, Pauline. Yes, there is something about her. Goodbye. So Pauline says, or I can say Pauline gives the confirmation that yes, there is something. Now what do you mean by something? Something special, or I can say something special, like some miracle in her. And soon Polly too left the place and started his journey with John to go to Shinoy to convince the Prince Dauphin. So children, this was the lesson in a form of a play written by George Bernard Shaw. I hope you enjoyed this. It's a very interesting historical character, or I can say an iconic character, the John of Arc. So this was for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a nice day.